Guten Morgen, liebe Medici-Familie. Ich bin Christine Kühl und die Assistentin von Uwe Baumann und ich habe heute einen Gast, Katerina Zupanec, bei mir. Katerina, would you like to introduce yourself to the Medici family?
Yeah, hello everybody. It's my pleasure to be here in that city and actually in that company. My name is Katerina Zupanec, as Christina has already told, and I'm professor, the head of Department of Clinical Pharmacy and Clinical Pharmacology from the National University of Pharmacy, which is located in Kharkiv in Ukraine. And before the war, we had a lot of work to do. We had a lot of students, a lot of conferences, and a lot of international projects. So right now I'm here, and the reason of this is that actually the war was initiated, and it's undeniably true that there are no reasons and no arguments for the war, but I don't want to speak about it. Let's better skip this topic and let's focus our attention on our cooperation with medicine.
Yeah. Would you like to tell the people how do we know each other, how you know Medici?
Yeah, the first meeting was with our friend, with a friend of our family, Dr. Uwe Baumann, who suggested the project to our department, and we started this project in the end of the year. That's how we got in touch with Christine, and that is how actually we started all our cooperation. We did not expect that this small project will finally bring us to such a friendly managed assistance and made my journey from Ukraine to Iserlohn very, very safe. Thanks God. And thanks Christine for helping me in that rather risky trip because it was really, really very hard to get here, and if not her assistance, if not her driving, I may say, support, I think that I won't be able to sit here right now.
Yeah, I think it's important that we tell a little bit more of the backstory. So Katerina left about 2.5 weeks ago. She left Kharkiv with her little daughter. She's 14?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So Sonia is 14, she left with her, and they tried to manage to make it to the Ukrainian-Polish border. And since I was already in contact with Katerina, I offered to fly to Poland and meet them at the border so she could relax after 3 days of non-stop driving and sleeping in the car, that we could manage to get her safely to Iserlohn. So maybe Katerina, maybe you could tell where are you staying and what are your next steps?
Yeah, it's my pleasure, and I'm really very grateful for the support of Dr. Uwe Baumann, of Christian, Mrs. Good, and also I'm very grateful to Mrs. Peter Ammer and Mr. Ammer, who suggested their house for our accommodation and actually all support and assistance in my adaptation and in the life which I have right now in Iserlohn. I think that it's really, really hard to leave everything at home and just to be alone with your daughter here. But I feel like at home, and it's a pleasure for me to get acquainted with the people like this.
Yeah. And I think maybe we will share a couple of projects we are actually planning right now. Do you want to give a little bit more detail about that as well?
Mm-hmm. So actually we have already finished the project that was started in Ukraine, and I had a report on it, and right now I'm going to be a part of medicine because I understand that right now there is no future for the pharmacy specialist in Ukraine, especially in Kharkiv. Mm-hmm. And as for me, it would be a great opportunity to continue my work and to make an implementation. Let it be very small, but still it will be an implementation into the work of Medici company, and actually it would be a great pleasure for me to become a part of such a big family as Medici.
So what is the current situation in Ukraine like, and is there anything we can do from Germany to support?
Well, unfortunately, the war is still very active, and several cities, rather big cities, has been ruined completely. And it was a good suggestion from Mrs. Peter Ammer to start the humanitarian aid. And we just got in touch with the hospital that is located in the middle of Ukraine, so it is still working and is still operating. And as far as I know, that yesterday there was a transportation of the first part of this humanitarian aid from Medici company, which was completely covered by the company. And as far as I know, that the list of drugs was more than 100 drugs, the names of the drugs. So I think that it would be great if we continue such deliveries, and if we actually may have an opportunity to support not only the medicines but also the medical devices and the children food there in Ukraine.
Genau, liebe Medici-Familie, nochmal von uns. Wir würden uns sehr freuen, wenn ihr alle daran teilhaben möchtet, dieses tolle Projekt weiter zu unterstützen. Es werden weitere Lieferungen, 2, 3, je nachdem, wie viel dort benötigt wird, auch dort in das Krankenhaus in die Ukraine geschickt werden, welches wir durch Katharina direkten Kontakt haben. Und wir würden uns freuen, wenn ihr alle dafür spenden würdet, sodass wir die ukrainische Bevölkerung möglichst gut unterstützen können, zumindest, dass sie in der medizinischen Versorgung gesichert sind.
Oh well, so I would like to finalize our discussion, and you know that before the war we occasionally underestimated such words as peace, as silence, as our relatives who can be at our side. And right now, being here in Iserlohn, I may say that I feel every minute the support of the citizens, and I know that with the support like this, with assistance like this, we can overcome this disaster, and finally we will find each other safe and sound.